What is up, guys? Dirk here. Today I think I've got a very interesting video for you where I want to share some incredible similarities between the 2018 bear market capitulation and what is happening now. And I want to share and point out an important possibility in the relationship between Bitcoin and altcoins, where I think we might see a lot of funds flow from altcoins back into Bitcoin for safety. So today is going to be a jam-packed video. Get ready, grab yourself a drink, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so that you do get those future updates, and let's get straight into it. Okay, so what I have here is a weekly chart of Bitcoin going back all the way here to 2018. You can see we're currently trading about 16,400. As I've been saying in the last couple of videos, I think there's still sell-off potential to about this $12,000 level, this fair value gap, maybe a little bit lower in terms of what is happening there. But what I want to show you here, just look at this accuracy, look at what is happening, okay? We have had the peak here in December 2017. It was actually 17 December, but this is a weekly chart. So I put the vertical line here. This was the peak of the 2017 bull run. The peak before that, actually, if we go back, it was also 4 years ago exactly. It was at the end of November 2013. So there is a 4-year cycle that is in play here. Why? I don't know. We can speculate that it's because Bitcoin works on a 4-year halving cycle, and this is all based around that. But whatever the reason is behind why it happens, it doesn't matter. The fact is we can see it happening, and let's look at that. Okay, so we had 4 years ago the peak in November 2013. Then we had it here in December 2017, and then we had it here in November 4 years later, again in 2021. So you can see very similar 4-year cycle. Now, if we look at the 2018 bear market, you can see it lasted until the very lows were December 2018. So it lasted a year. And if you get out the measurement tool, you can actually see that's basically exactly a year, 365 days. Obviously, it's a weekly chart, so more or less, okay? 365 days. So let me zoom in a bit here to 2018. What we got is we had this long sideways bouncing period on the $6,000 level for many months. And then towards the very end, in November, you can see starting on November 12th, we started a final breakdown that was a 50% drop. It was the final capitulation, and it dropped, and you can see it bottomed by about the first to second week of December. Okay, and what the kind of the news event or the fundamental event was that caused this was, at the time, there was a drama between miners and also with Roger Ver, who created Bitcoin Cash, and the belief that Bitcoin wasn't the real Bitcoin, so he forked it, created Bitcoin Cash. There were hash wars and miners and all kind of stuff, and basically it just melted down. Whatever the fundamental reason was, it was just in the charts, it was set up, we got that final capitulation, we washed out, and then we spent a good 6 months here before going up. But that was the final bottom of the bear market 1 year later. Now, look at exactly what is happening. It's so crazy to see how this is almost perfectly repeating. Because, look, that was the beginning, right? 12 November in 2018. Now we started this here 7 November. 4 years later, 7 November, exactly under almost similar circumstances there. Again, it was a discrepancy. There was a fork, blah, blah, blah. And there were also issues, liquidity issues with BitMEX and things like that. We were worried about melting down. Same thing happened now, exactly when this started. CZ, CEO of Binance, brought to light all the fraud that was happening with FTX and Alameda and Sam Bankman-Fried, and that caused the bank run. Billions of dollars are potentially lost here, and it started that capitulation. Similar circumstances, exactly almost a similar time frame from the peak to there, same as 4 years ago. It is crazy how this is unfolding. So, while there's no guarantees, I'm pointing this out to you here. Let's keep an eye on it. We are also so far in this trend at this point that things just look very similar. So, if this continues to repeat, and we are now in the final capitulation stage, and this would repeat, then we are looking potentially for more sell-off in the next 2 to 4 weeks, and then the final bottom of the bear market somewhere between the 1st and the 3rd week of December. Then probably, if this is going to repeat, we can also expect this, just based on how trends work, is after the bottom is in, we are probably looking at least 3 to 6 months of sideways trading in a range where there's very little volatility, and that is the accumulation phase before a next run up. So this is going to be very interesting. I want to make you aware of this so you can keep an eye on it. Let's see what happens in the next 2 to 4 weeks. My expectation is still, like I've been explaining on the weekly chart, that we do tap this fair value gap. There's just a lot of support here. I'd find it strange to see the price just create support and create a bottom at this current level in between this range where there's very little support historically. Okay, it makes way more sense to go to this level. Maybe if things get really crazy and we get some sort of meltdown, we wick below it. It is possible. Maybe we go below 10K on a wick. But if we do get this in the next 2 to 4 weeks, I think that very much matches what happened in 2018 in time, in price, percentage-wise. If we hit there, we are very similar to the same percentage here in drawdown. And I think that would give a good criteria for the bottom of the bear market very potentially. And then we could start the accumulation phase, which is probably going to be very boring. It's going to go sideways for 3 to 6 months, very little volatility. Accumulation happens. And then whenever that accumulation is finished, we'll probably have some sort of either mini run or maybe even right into a new potential bull market. But we'll look at that as it develops and how things play out. So I wanted to bring this to your attention. I think it's very interesting. And I think it could very well play out. So let's see what happens over the next 2 to 4 weeks and look for that potential bottom. Then the next thing that I want to bring to your attention, which I do think is important to be aware of, and this has happened in past boom bust cycles also, so there is nothing new to this theory or anything like that. But basically you have Bitcoin and you have all the altcoins. And this last bull market, we've seen a crazy amount of altcoins being created. There's something like 20,000 different altcoins now because anyone can go and make a coin on Ethereum or any of the other L1s and just make more and more and more coins. Now, the problem is most of these altcoins are complete garbage. Some of them are outright frauds and scam, but a lot of them are also purely like tech startups mixed with the cryptocurrency because they have a team, they have a founder, they have expenses, they have developments, and they have a vision that we don't know if they're going to achieve whatever they're setting out to be, or whatever app, whatever adoption they're going to get. So knowing that most businesses fail, knowing that most startups fail, and especially knowing that most new cryptocurrency speculative investments also completely retrace, the chances that most altcoins out there, we're probably talking like 99% out of the 20,000 are probably going to fail in the long term. So while it's all good and fun during the bull market to speculate on these altcoins because some of them can pump like crazy, even if they're complete jokes, even if they're complete scams, we have seen some of them can do 30x, 50x, 100x, or even more. And during those conditions, it's possible to participate in that, just ride the wave and be able to make money from those things. But to hold them in the long term is obviously a very dangerous game. And we've seen this in the last boom bust cycle too. The further down we get in the bear market, the more altcoins suffer because Bitcoin tends to draw down 80 to 85% in bear markets, whereas most altcoins go down 95 to 99%. So in bear markets, altcoins lose almost all of their value versus Bitcoin that doesn't. Also, Bitcoin has, of course, the track record. It was the first one, right? It was the longest since 2009. It has the most security. It is the most decentralized, and so on and so forth. So Bitcoin has the most trust. In terms of which coin would you put your money in that you think has the highest chance of still being here in 10 years, most people are going to say Bitcoin because of the track record and because of the likelihood. You know, there's no founder, there's no team, there's no expenses, there's no centralized entity, nothing like that. It is just there, it is decentralized, and it's more likely to continue to be here in 10 years versus pretty much any of the altcoins that have any of those other factors. Okay, so it's important to understand that. And as we start going down and down in this bear market, what tends to happen is that altcoins lose more and more value. Also, fundamentally, it's not just about the value, it's also that a lot of these altcoin projects actually go bankrupt or run out of runway. Okay, because like I said, they have founders, they have a team, they have expenses, maybe they have office space, and so on and so forth. So every single month in this bear market, not only is their price going down, but their expenses continue. And if they run out of money, if they mismanage their treasury, or like what a lot of people do that run these projects, they don't anticipate months or years of bear market, and if they kept their treasury in actual crypto and their treasury also drops by 50 or 80 or 90% due to the drop in crypto while their expenses continue, they become insolvent and the coin becomes worthless, and the chance of the coin ever reviving is very, very slim. Okay, so more and more people are starting to realize this as the bear market continues, as prices drop. More and more people stop believing in their altcoins, or they see basically, okay, it's time to write it off. This altcoin is never going to survive. They're going to fail. They're going to go bankrupt. And what do? They take their last remaining money in those altcoins and they swap it for Bitcoin because, or well, they can withdraw it out of the market too. But the more logical option is, hey, if you want to save your funds and you want to have some chance of recouping them, okay, we can think, Bitcoin is maybe going to do a 3, 4, 5x, maybe a 10x over time. It's likely to still be here. So, okay, even if you lost money in altcoins, you can park it in Bitcoin, and hopefully in 5 years from now, you'll have recouped a decent amount of your loss, or maybe all of your loss, right? That is going to be the thought process. So what do we see is we see a capital inflow from altcoins into Bitcoin. And in that case, the point I'm trying to make here is that during the bear market, holding Bitcoin is a better store of value than holding altcoins, because the altcoins lose more value and they could potentially go under and maybe never recover. Whereas Bitcoin loses less value and it's more likely to recover, and usually it's the first one to recover out of the whole crypto space. Money flows into Bitcoin, Bitcoin rallies, and then after Bitcoin goes up, people start speculating on altcoins again because they have lower market caps. That's basically the cycle and the relationship, how that works here. So what I have here is the market cap dominance. It's the relationship between Bitcoin and altcoins as a percentage of the total market cap. It has nothing to do with the direction of the market. It just shows the higher this goes, the more Bitcoin has a higher market cap percentage share of the whole market cap, and the lower it goes, it's obviously then it's a time to be in altcoins. So as you can see over here, during this period when we had the bull market, that is when it is usually better to be in altcoins in terms of being able to outperform Bitcoin, because altcoins, because they're so low market cap and there's a crazy speculation, they tend to do many bigger multiples than Bitcoin, simply because Bitcoin's market cap is already so large. But during bear markets, and this was the 2018 bear market, you can see Bitcoin gained a lot of dominance against those altcoins for the same reason. People flock to Bitcoin because it's a better store of value. Now, throughout this bear market, we didn't see the same as in 2018. We've basically seen it trading in a range. It stopped going down, but it's been trading in a range. And I think the reason for that is quite simply because there are so many more altcoins this time. It has nothing to do really with people thinking altcoins are better than Bitcoin. It has to do with the fact that here maybe there were, I don't know what the numbers are, a few thousand or less altcoins. Now there's 20,000. And even though a lot of them are scam coins or shit coins, they still take market cap. So if you calculate it as a percentage of the market cap, obviously, 20,000 is going to be more than a few thousand. But I think the same principles apply. And I think what we can end up seeing is that same flow from altcoins into Bitcoin due to the trust factor, due to the fact that we don't know what's going to happen with altcoins. More and more projects are looking less certain that they're going to survive, and so on and so forth. So people start converting their money to Bitcoin because it's just more certainty and more likely that it is going to recover and gain in future. So we can keep an eye on this Bitcoin dominance chart, and just based on, you can see it's in this perfect range over here that it's fluctuated in for most of the bear market over here, actually all the bear market, and we are now at the bottom of the range once again. We've wicked below it. It does look like there is support over here. So if we do see that play out, what I just said, a flow from altcoins into Bitcoin, we probably see a run here in the Bitcoin dominance. And what this is indicating is, like I've said before, basically during this period of time, when the Bitcoin dominance rises, it is more profitable for you to be in a Bitcoin heavy portfolio. If you're in altcoins, then you tend to lose more. And if you're in Bitcoin, you might still lose. Again, keep in mind, this is not directional. This going up doesn't mean the markets go up. It just means the store of value, the value of Bitcoin versus altcoins, if this is going up, you're better off holding Bitcoin because you either lose less value or you gain more value from holding Bitcoin. If you found this interesting and informative, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, click the notification bell, get on my email list. It's free. It's the first link in the description down below. And if you want to share this with your friends and family on social media, on Twitter, Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want to share it, get this out to more people. That would be much appreciated.